with the select team announcements, there's also been some sort of minor quality of life stuff reported coming for the real G League, the rest of the G League, so to speak. How important are those things, do you think, in improving the product, and how good do you see the G League becoming if the NBA continues to invest in it?
I think the product is already going to continue to grow. Those type of things you mentioned, Ty, I think have been in the works and will be coming in the next few years in terms of, a little bit better housing at home and on the road, maybe higher salaries. But if you look at where the league's come in the last even 2-3 years, you go down the line in most G League games, you're going to see 5 to 6 guys who have NBA experience at least. And there's, a bunch of guys competing on every team in their mind for an NBA contract because there's a lot of talent there. And whether it's two-way players or guys who have been in the league or, younger players on Exhibit 10s, whatever it is, like a lot of the just outside the NBA now is maybe not in Europe playing in the ACB or not playing in high EuroLeague basketball. Like they're saying, hey, I can make a couple $100,000 and stay in the States. They're willing to do it. And I think the players, when it becomes close enough for players to say, the money's not that different between here and overseas, they'll stay every time. We hear that from our guys all the time. They have families, they have children, they have, a lot of things that keep their hearts tied here. So if the money and all that stuff and the lifestyle things that you talk about, Ty, become even close, I think they'll stay here going forward.
Coach, NBA opening up facilities for 3 teams, I think, today. I know they pushed that back a week. Has there been conversation if and when the Bucks would open up their facilities and how you're involved with that going forward if they were going to try to finish the season?
Yeah, a lot of it's still up in the air. I think the NBA sent out a big memo. We're talking about the guidelines of working players out, individually. And, there's a lot of restrictions there on how many people can be in the building, how many people can work with a player, spacing out workouts, things like that. So I think it's still in the works. I think they're working with, a lot of different people, but there's just not a resolution just yet in terms of the Bucks when they're getting back in the facility.
Once you guys do get back on the court, what are you most looking forward to?
I think just probably the bond again, to see the guys. You spend so much time with this family over the course of 6-8 months, whatever it is, and then everyone feels this right now. We're all separated from the people we work with or the people we care about, and hopefully have some family and loved ones around to share with. But I think those relationships you build, you're eager to see those people and continue those.
Coach, Frank spent a lot of time with the Bucks this season. Super question: what do you think he benefited from most from that time he spent with them, and what area did you see him improve the most until the season was suspended?
I think, probably just igniting that fire in him that he knows that's where he wants to be. And, he came back down after a little injury and time with them. And that month of February was as a killer. He just was the best player in the league by far. I think his aggressive mindset and when he just was willing to embrace the fact that, I might get knocked down a few times, but if I drive it to the basket, no one's going to stop me. No one's going to stay in front of me, and he can finish and draw fouls. And I think when he kind of just lost that regard for anything and just started attacking, he became an entirely different animal.
Coach, with you guys not being able to finish such a strong year, does that kind of put a renewed sense of hunger in you guys for next year, and knowing that had such a strong year before it was called off?
Yeah, I think there's always a sense of a little bit of unfinished business depending on what happens going forward. But, it'll be a new group, and whoever it is, hopefully we'll have a lot of returning faces. But I think overall, some of those guys that weren't around next year aren't going to respond to that. So we'll have to find a different, motivating piece. But I think for individuals that have been there, there's obviously a little bittersweet moment knowing how good you've been, but chance not to compete, at least as of now, is tough.
Entering the season, you guys knew that you had a lot of great shooters, ball handlers, some length. What do you think is the area that y'all were better in as a team than you probably expected?
I think defensively. We came to my first press conference. I said I hope we'd be a top 5 defense, but we started Luke May and Jamario at our 4-5 a lot of the game and played a drop coverage and pick and roll, which conventional basketball wisdom would probably tell you would be in trouble some nights. But I think our guys were terrific in our execution and the way they competed on the ball and defensively all the way down. And I think it was fun to watch the group. Obviously, you hope to play as fast as we did. And I think that was probably most teams that played us was the thing that they would take away is how quick we were in transition. But it all started with our defense. You can't go quick in transition without getting stops. And for us to be as small, so to speak, as we were and be as effective defensively as we were protecting the rim the way the Bucks do was fun and really impressive.
Coach, where are you holding up right now? Have you heard on where all the other guys are at too?
Most of our guys are at home. They got out kind of that weekend, right when it all happened. And I drove home to San Antonio about a month later. So it's a little bit warmer there than it's been in Oshkosh last year. So 85 to 90 is nicer than 35 and rainy. So
Smart move.
I'm holding San Antonio.
What have you been doing to keep busy during this time?
Oh, well, I think, again, Dave and I did a really thorough job of talking to our group, players, staff included, and trying to figure out what we did well and where we can continue to improve. And our basketball ops staff, Artie, Pete, have been great, continuing just the reflection of the year and again, where we can grow. Spent some time wrapping up some projects, I guess, from the course of the season. But honestly, just relaxing a lot, playing some Call of Duty with our players every now and then is kind of a fun way to keep in touch, but not so much.
Are you and the front office staff at all in a position at the moment with everything up in limbo to kind of have check-in conversations and see who might be interested in coming back or not, or is that something that's just on hold with everything else being on hold?
It's something we kind of address with a large majority of our team in those kind of conversations, but just to, like you said, kind of get a feel as much of anything. But, I think from a player's perspective, a lot of our guys really enjoyed their time and enjoyed the group. And, regardless of who's coming back next year, I think a lot of them it voiced that they'd be back in a heartbeat. So I think, again, that's a testament to Dave and the whole staff and just the environment we set up. But I think there will be an opportunity to bring back a lot of guys from this group, and whoever that looks like, I think we're excited about the developmental prospects of pretty much everyone we had this year. So who knows what it'll look like in 4 or 5 months as the G League, as you guys are aware. But we like the pieces we have, and we have a lot of rights to returning players that we're excited about.
What was the best part about this historic season for the Herd, even though it's only been alive 3 years?
The best part was probably just seeing the way the guys interacted and gelled with each other. It was a fun time to sit back and watch their passion kind of take over, and the way they cheered for each other. It's you're around a lot of different teams, and you get a lot of good groups, and I've been fortunate to have been around a lot of those, but this group was really special. I think everyone who was a part of it would admit that.
Coach, this may be a tough one, but have there been any conversations regarding the arena? Are you involved with any of that? It's been pretty well documented, kind of the issues that they've been having, but are you involved with any of those conversations?
I'm not involved. It's, obviously unfortunate, all the stuff that's going on. I can't really say much other than we love Oshkosh and Menominee Nation. I think everybody knows what type of a home field court that place provides, and again, we're committed to being there long term because I think we all agree that's a great place to play.
Any more questions for Coach?
Not here.
Guys, thank you for your time. I appreciate it. I know everybody's got a lot of things going on. Hopefully the weather's nice this weekend. Outside.
Nope.
No?
No.
Wow.
Coach, thank you for your time. And guys, if you have any additional requests, please feel free to email. Happy to help in any way. Thank you guys for joining, and thank you, Coach.
All right, appreciate it, guys. Thanks, Coach. Thanks,
Thanks,
Jordan.
Jace.
Guys.
Thanks,